Hi, I'm Chuck Suchy, and I'm here to share with you some of the details that were involved in a program that I've been involved with through the North Dakota Council on the Arts. It's called Art for Life. And the original idea was to have artists go into facilities and care facilities and visit with folks who don't get out much or don't have the chance to or may feel like they're on the fringes of the community. And for artists to go in and join in them with trying to make art and to do art, or in my case, it would be songwriting. So originally the plan was to get together with a half a dozen or so folks at a care facility and sit down and visit with them and see what's in their minds and in their hearts and try and write some songs and find some commonality, some common themes. Well, then COVID happened, and so there was no going into the facilities. And so a few months ago, we were trying to figure out how to do this. And so we ended up doing some phone interviews and some internet interaction via Skype or Zoom, I think it was. And so out of that actually came some 4 songs, and I'm going to share, we're going to center on just one of those today here. And this came out of some conversations I had with about a dozen people who frequently attend the Burleigh County Senior Center in Bismarck. And so they were no longer able to actually physically go to the senior center due to the COVID restrictions. So I visited with them via phone, and every phone interview ended up being close to an hour. And it seemed like every time we were about ready to close off, there was just one more thing. So that in itself emphasized this need for human connection that we all have. We all have this. And so that was the premise for starting this. And so in talking with the folks who frequent the Burleigh County Senior Center, one of the things they missed was the activities, virtual bowling and darts and so forth, and then playing pinochle with one another and all those healthy interactions that help us get along in life. So these folks that I visited with were deeply concerned about how this is going to continue, but they were not down and out about it. They were determined that there's just going to be another sort of paradigm of interaction here, and it's sort of revealing itself as time goes along, and hopefully it won't be forever, but maybe the good things will be forever that come out of this. So that's the grounding of this presentation to you today, because art sort of transcends all boundaries and that we might imagine. And as it's been put down, art helps to dissolve the illusion of separateness that we sometimes yield to. That this idea that we are strong individuals and don't need one another. Well, I'll just leave it at that, but I have obviously my own opinion on that. So this new paradigm is not only for how to live, but also how to thrive. So the arts, we're helping these people, and in my case, songwriting, just trying to find common themes in our discussion about living with the COVID virus and the isolation, and how to build community in new ways. And so for instance, one of the lovely ladies that I visited with, she was in her 80s. And it was this typical, okay, well, if you need anything more, just give me a call. And she said, Well, yeah, there is a couple of things. And so on we went for another 20 minutes. And one of the lines, and during these phone conversations, I had my yellow legal pad right in front of me, and so I would be scribbling down notes and making sure I remembered everything. But one of the lines that she said after that was, she said, "We need an us. We need an us. We need this new communal identity. We need an us." And I thought that was very right on and profound. So that got written down, and it's in the song. And so in writing the song, I actually lifted a lot of the lyrics just from the notes I had written down, the words that they had said. And sometimes I embellish them a little bit to enhance the poetry, but the heart and soul was already there. It was all, the poetry was in the conversation. And another line that came out, and it ended up sort of being the title of the song, was this woman said, "If I can't touch somebody's hand, how can I know about them? How can I know them if I can't shake their hand?" She said, when you shake someone's hand, you do more than just shake their hand. You feel that person. You get to know them in an intimate, soulful way. And I thought that was pretty good and very profound. Also, a lot of the people talked about their coping mechanisms, and nature played a huge part in many of the folks' lives. Rediscovering their backyards through bird feeders, gardens, flower beds, and just not only rediscovering it, but taking time to truly appreciate it and know it in a new way. So that's something I think I spoke of earlier, that things that might carry forth into further time that are good, that we learn from this. And so a lot of the folks said, yeah, I've just learned to really sit out on the deck and listen to the birds and watch the sunrise or sunset and hear the wind in the trees, and things I probably didn't do enough of before. So that actually got put into the song. And through all of this, all these folks, they had a certain maintenance, I call it, maintenance of joy and determination to live well and not let this take them down into the depths, permanently at least. So in that, the idea of the nature of affinity, that became the beginning of the song. And I wish I could tell you how it actually happens, this songwriting process, but I'm not sure myself. And and I'm not trying to be coy or arty here, but that's just how it is. In visiting with these people and looking at their words and rereading the notes, and pretty soon a melody comes from somewhere. And in this case, it started with that nature reference and all those nature references. And so that just became of I don't know the exact term, but I know a lot of the standard songs in the 20s and 30s, they'd often have an introductory verse that sort of sets the listener up and the singer up, that maybe doesn't musically fit the rest of the song, but it just sets it up, and it's kind of a work on its own. And so I thought, as I was reading through their notes about seeing the grass green up in the spring and hearing the robins as they arrived and all these natural references, that became the verse just on its own, just from the revelation of their concerns in their hearts. I hope the folks, as far as I know, the ones that have heard it are very pleased, and I couldn't get every word in and every body in, but I got the common spirit in. And so this is called How Will I Know Your Heart? Clover boughs, gentle wind, earth revolves with life we're in. Winter's brown to green of spring. Listen now, the robin sing. How will I know your heart if I can't hold your hand? How can we touch apart? Each other understand. Did we know who we were before the world came here? How can we love impart? How will I know your heart? What is it we now trust when all we've known is lost? We must become an us, sharing the common cause. If I can know your heart, I believe it's true. We have a place to start. I believe in you. Everything, everywhere, every good, every smile we share, weary eyes, feeling fear, healing love, healing tears. Now that you know my heart, boundaries and borderlines no longer hold apart. Love in your heart from mine. Now that I know your heart, we'll build a world anew. Love is the place we'll start. I believe in you. Now that you know my heart, now that I know your